What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Joel Culpepper Outdoors. I'm Joel Culpepper, and we've got the V3X 33 back. So, we're going to go over, or I'm going to go over kind of what the game plan is with this bow now and see where we're going to go from here. So, I believe it was this limb here that was replaced. Of course, all the limbs are in pretty good shape from what I can tell. I really did a big check back over this bow. I checked the cams. I checked the limbs. I checked all the accessories that are bolted on just to make sure that there's nothing else wrong with it. But when I got it back, I went to do a 3-spot Vegas with it just to try to get my sight dialed right back into where it needs to be. And when I was in either the 8th or 9th round, I went to draw it back and I heard something, so I immediately let down. I checked over all the cams, or both the cams. I checked all the limbs. I checked the riser. I literally checked everything on this bow, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. So I went ahead and finished my Vegas round. But yeah, so before we get into all that stuff, again, shout out to Matthews for hooking me up with a new limb. That was great. Shout out to Life Outdoors for putting this all back together for me. So where am I going to go from here with this bow? Well, seeing as how it just seems like this bow wants to give me problems, I will not be keeping this bow. As much as I hate to say that, I'm going to get rid of it this year, and it'll be out of my possession by next week. So, yeah, I'm not too particularly happy about how all this is shaking out, but I don't feel like I have that much of a choice at this point. I just would really like to get rid of this bow and move on to something better in the future. So, just something to look out for with your bows. So I actually tied this loop on myself. So yeah, if you can see anything wrong with it, you can go ahead and roast me in the comments. That's okay. It's the first loop I've ever actually tied onto a bow. I actually made an effort to make it a permanent loop, and it is in line with the peep very well. But when the bow was, all the strings and cables were taken off and all that, when they put this back on, it has a tendency, the loop is wanting to point back towards the grip a lot, and that makes it kind of annoying, which is, that's an easy fix. You just have to do some twisting or untwisting with the string here. So I'm going to make sure that all that kind of stuff is fixed before I sell this bow. Yeah, I'm going to sell it on consignment with a shop in Tifton. So if you are interested in a V3X 33 like this one, go check it out up there. And if you want it, you're more than welcome to go snatch it up for yourself. I think it's a good bow. I just don't have confidence in it anymore. So, this is an easy fix, and this is another reason I would like to have my own bow press at home, just because then I don't have to worry about taking this to somebody else. I can fix it, in the comfort of my own house or in my own shop, versus having to actually go get someone else to take care of my problems for me. So, yeah, this bow doesn't have much longer left with me. In a couple days, I'm going to go through, I'm not shooting it anymore, but I'm going to go through and pull off all of my accessories on it. I'm pulling off both stabilizers, pulling the rest off, or pulling the sight off. And that's just because those are things that I'm still going to use in the future. And I mean, these target sights are very expensive, so I don't recommend that you sell your target sight if you like it, just because you're going to get a different bow. And I do like this sight. I think there are some things about it that I would probably change personally, but it's been pretty good so far. So I'm not gonna switch it up for to just go pay more money for something that's gonna do the same thing. Not right now, at least. So, like I said, everything's coming off this bow, and going to sell it, get rid of it, and I am going to get the shop to the shop in Tifton to. I'm going to ask them to check everything out on that bow. If that means that they want to take and pop the axles out and check everything around the cams. If they want to take apart the limb pockets and all that, that's fine too. I'm just gonna let them do it, because part of that is because they didn't do any of the work. So in this particular situation, since it was a warranty job, not downplaying the guys in Valdosta, they do a good job, but just to have two opinions on it, I am going to get them to check it out in Tifton before they put it up on consignment for me. Just like I said, to make sure that everything's good and it's all doing what it's supposed to, so the person that buys it will not have any problems and will be getting a fantastic bow, because that's what this is. This is a phenomenal bow, and I hate that I'm gonna be losing it. I really do, but at the same time, I just think it's time to move on and just accept the defeat on this one, honestly, because what else can I do? I just don't I don't think this bow is worth me pouring a lot of time and energy into when I've basically got this bow in the Phase 433, and it's already set up and ready to go exactly where I need it to be. So that's my thought process behind it. The bow's still shooting pretty good. I think some things definitely got shifted around. And I don't know if they're 100% lined up right. I was having some trouble. My arrows were not flying straight part of the time. So it could be a tuning issue. It could have been a me issue. I might have been torquing a little bit or something, but I will recommend that whoever buys this bow does need to get it paper tuned and everything to make sure everything's lined up like it needs to be. Of course, they'll be putting all their own components on there. Everything that's on there from me is going to come off to be transferred to other bows. I've got plans for pretty much every component. Actually, I do have plans for every component on this bow. It's not going. None of these parts are going to wind up sitting in a box somewhere, or just lost to time. They've all got a purpose. There's something in my mind to do with each and every part on this bow. So we'll talk about where this is going to wind up going. So, of course, it seems to me like, just reading your guys' comments and everything, and thank you so much for the comments and all the interaction and everything with the last video I posted. But it seems to me like a lot of you guys really think that I would benefit a lot from a target bow during the off season. So the game plan is to actually get a target bow. I would like to put in an order for it probably around October, so I can get it December or January and put enough reps through it that I can be ready for 3D season, which starts in February. I'm still probably not going to shoot ASA next year, but I will shoot the local 3D stuff, and I will do the 3-spot Vegas that they do there as well. So I will order my target bow this year. one of the things I'm not real happy about with the target bows is the lack of availability everywhere. You can't go to any shop, and well, there are a few shops, but they're very, very, very few and very, very far between, where you can actually go in and pick up the target bows and shoot them and then figure out what's best for you. Most of them you're just going to have to order. So what I'm going to actually let make that decision for me for next year is see what hunting bow I'm going to run. I'm going to sell all my Matthews this year, next year, and completely redo my my bow collection, if you want to look at it that way. If I do wind up keeping any of my Matthews, it'll be my hunting bow, which I still have not shown yet. Just because I would put some 60-pound mods in there and use that just for turkeys, or if I was just going, if I just didn't feel like ripping 70 pounds, then I could go shoot that bow. So if I do keep any bow, it would be that one. So would not be the Phase 4. Definitely won't be this 33. Like I said, we're already talking about getting rid of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see, there's two companies I'm real interested in. I've marked Bowtech off the list because, again, it seems like you guys just, you ain't fans of Bowtech, which I completely understand because of what they've been doing with their business lately. And I'm not going to promote that product. I'm not going to shoot it if you guys don't want to see that. So if you think that your comments or anything don't have any effect on me, you're wrong, because they actually do. I do listen to you guys. I do read your comments, and yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that I can learn from you guys, and maybe there's even something that I can teach somebody. So that being said, Bowtech's off the list. I don't like Hoyt's target bows. I just don't see them performing to the same standard as most of the other companies. So Hoyt's pretty much off the table. I've still got a bad taste in my mouth from Darton. Even though I feel like they're actually doing really good right now for themselves, I don't really want to play with Darton right now. Matthews, of course, I'm not a fan of the lift, as I've said multiple times. And with that, I'm not going to be a fan of probably the next 5 or 6 bows that they put out, because it'll all be from that same design, and that's just not going to work for me. So that really only leaves me 2 companies that are in my general vicinity that I can actually shoot, and that is PSE and Elite. Now, I've always said, or at least when I started shooting more, I've always said that Elite, I think, makes the best target-inspired hunting bows, meaning that every bow they make comes from a more target-oriented perspective. It's not 100% hunting, but they still make a really good product that you can hunt with. It's just more target-inspired, which I believe for Elite, that target is kind of their bread and butter. I think that's where they set themselves apart from everybody else. So that would stand to reason that that even their hunting bows would have more of a target feel to them. So that's definitely a big contender. But a lot of what is still up in the air, why I haven't locked in Elite yet, I've got to see what hunting bow they're going to make for next year. Because if they only do like they did this year and make 33-inch bows, that's not really interesting for me, just from being a whitetail hunter and going to be doing a lot of stand like hunting in stands and blinds and stuff. I just, having that extra length on the riser, 33 inches, is it makes it a lot harder to get around, and it can actually hinder you trying to shoot out of a blind, especially if you're trying to draw down like that, or even more like that. Just the way that these cams sit so high up off the limbs and everything, and with the, a longer axle to axle anyways, it just seems like a bad idea for me to shoot a longer axle to axle bow to hunt with. So Elite's entire thing with me for next year depends on what kind of hunting bow they release. And even if I like that hunting bow, just got to shoot it and see how it feels. But PSE is actually the biggest contender for me right now. They're number one in my mind. I like the direction they took this year with the Mach 30. I like the Evolve 30 DS. I really want to shoot the Evolve 33 as well, because what I would like to do is next year get my target bow and my short hunting bow, and then the year after go ahead and get another longer hunting bow, because I do still enjoy shooting those. And that would give me some buffer time. So if I decided that I wanted to switch up brands again, I wouldn't have, like I do now, 3 bows that I have to get rid of. So PSE actually has 2 different target bows right now. They've got the Supra, I think it's the Supra X, and the Shoot Down Pro. And I'm leaning more towards the Shoot Down myself. Of course, the Supra came out, and everybody seems like has really liked that bow, and it's a really good price point bow. But I think for me, the Shoot Down is going to be a little bit better of a bow just for me. So that's why that one is definitely up there on the list. And of course, the Evolve 30, maybe even the Mach 30, depending on, of course, what they're going to do for next year. And I may be able to pick up an Evolve 30 for a little bit less if there's still 1 or 2 hanging around at the shop, or the Mach 30s if they change everything up for next year. So time will tell, and it's all up in the air right now. But I've got a pretty good idea of where I'm wanting to go. We just have to get to that point. We've still got several months till October. So I've got plenty of time to kind of settle in on what exactly I want. And hopefully everyone will have dropped their hunting bows, or at least those 2 companies for sure will have dropped their bows by that point, is what I'm hoping. So I can figure out which one I want to run for the next few years, because I'm ready to settle and pick a brand. And I like the Matthews, the older ones, but like I said, that I'm not liking the direction they're going now. Most of the companies I'm not a super big fan of what they're going for right now. Just like Bowtech, I know I've talked about their bows before. I just don't see what they were trying to accomplish this year with their bows. I just don't think that was the selections they made and everything were the smartest way to go about doing the bows this year. But that's just my opinion. So do with that what you will. My goal is not to come on here and tear down anybody or any brand or anything. So I don't want it to seem like I'm just talking smack about somebody. That's not my intention. It's not my goal. But I do want to keep you guys up to date and keep you informed on everything. So you can know what's going on, and you can be involved in whatever goes on from here. So anyways, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And everybody, just make sure that you stay safe, stay in the outdoors. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the next one.